Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Well, here was another day here at the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network. I'm an optimist, but I feel like the Democrat Party actually does not like the American people. At some points, I believe they actually hate us in the way they relate to things, and especially us that are conservatives and us that hold to Judeo-Christian values and people who have conscience. They want to turn this nation into a socialist nation. I don't know what the next 4 years will look like. I don't know who will be president, what to do, and when, what they're going to do. But those who are in power will not honor the truth. A lot of the people that are, when I say in power, I'm not talking about the actual politicians, because really the media runs this country, because everybody pays attention to the media and everything the media says. And unfortunately, the media is in love with lies. So the mainstream media spends a lot of its time telling lies and accusing the right or the conservative voices of being liars, and they're the liars. We're seeing evidence and things are happening, and they're looking at us and says, no, that's not true. And we're seeing things like, well, we can't see with our eyes. We don't see the truth in front of us. I'm not blind. I can see when something's in front of me and what people are doing. It's like they're trying to say the evidence that came out against, saying that there's fraud in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, and all these different places, saying that these people are lying. The people are not lying. Would you lie if you thought you might go to jail? I don't think so. The Democrat Party, unfortunately, is the party of the media, pretty much, and they're undermining this country. They're trying to destroy this country, and I thank God that our Senate is still the majority Republican, and I believe that even though they're not a perfect party either, I believe they will lead us back into the right direction. You know, I'm an optimist, but I believe we will ultimately win no matter what the situation is. I believe we are going to be in a roller coaster ride in the coming weeks, but I believe that we are able to make it through. This country is filled with people who have accomplished great things and people who have been through a lot of different things. Even our military have been through a lot of things, and we made it through. What we're dealing with right now, I don't like the way things are going. I do believe that the fraud has been done. The media, who has also propagated this thing about elections, some elections being fraudulent, now all of a sudden is saying that it's perfect. Give me a break. It's still fraudulent. There's still fraud going on. I even had what amazed me is we saw that Georgia states that there's no election irregularity. Give me a break. So you're saying the people that come in there and do the poll watching are blind. They can't see what's going on. People work for you that are counting the votes. If they disagree with you or disagree with what you're doing, like backdating votes and things like this, then that's okay. We'll go along with them. But you know, well, just a little bit of other news right now. Dr. Fauci, he says he predicts that sports arenas and stadiums like the basketball games will be able to resume sometime in, April or something like that with full crowds or whatever. But I mean, who is he? He's not God. This country, we have constitutional rights in this country. You know, you set up a thing where we space people out or whatever. I don't see why people can't come in with their families, group with their families. We want to space them out. Well, why can't we go into arenas and celebrate the sporting industry in this country? You're hurting all the industries, destroying businesses with this foolishness and everything else, and it is unconstitutional. Our First Amendment rights and our Second Amendment rights are constantly being violated. We need to stop this garbage. But I'm just one voice, and I know there are many other voices out there like mine, but like mine, a lot of people are trying to silence our voices through social media and stuff like that. I'm on social media, I'm on different social media, what's names, and they try to silence me, try to limit who sees what I talk about on my program. So we're coming up against it. I know that, but I'm not stopping. It's difficult, but I believe the truth needs to be heard, regardless of whether they try to stop it or not. Eventually, it will get out. Now, also, Fauci is trying to say that by the summer or something, when the things will go back to, well, hopefully back to normal. But he lied in the beginning, and here he is again saying this stuff here. He said before that 14 days. We did a 14 days to slow the spread. Here we are a whole freaking year later talking about shutting down more stuff. Well, I'm glad I live in Texas. We are dealing with things here, but we're not shutting everything down just to clear the virus. There are a lot of other viruses out here that can kill you. So, that's not the only virus out here that can kill you. Matter of fact, we got a lot of violence on the street. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Now, recently in Congress, there's been a bipartisan bill that's been put together, some $900 some odd billion put together, and they're agreeing on say $388 billion to small businesses, $25 billion to rental assistance, about $35 billion to healthcare providers, according to lawmakers. But I didn't hear anything said about direct payments to the American people, those of us who don't have regular jobs, who have businesses and stuff, who have been hurt through this pandemic and through this forced unconstitutional shutdown. So they need to do something about that. And I don't think it's going to work out unless we do something about that. Senator Mitch McConnell says that there's no reason why we should be able to pass a major relief package. Several reports suggest senators from both sides of the aisle are meeting unofficially, and amid division between Democrats and Republicans, these senators hope to hash out a stimulus package that can be presented to the upper chamber. I don't agree with all the Democrat policies or all the Republican party policies, but the radical element in our government needs to be defeated and sent packing. We need to get rid of that element in our government. On to the news in reference to the investigation into fraud in Arizona, Michigan, and several other states, Pennsylvania, Georgia. The poll watchers bring forward evidence at voter fraud in Arizona. In Michigan, a witness in Arizona hearing on a possible voter fraud, quote, says they thought they were done counting ballots and more truckloads of ballots were coming in. And she says, I'm like, how can you not know how many ballots are still out there? And President Trump is fighting to get them to review the numbers, especially in Georgia. And of course, he's coming up against a brick wall. And regarding this, they're still pushing against him on this. And also in the news, he was praising the Operation Warp Speed and the Moderna vaccine candidates head toward FDA review. But President Trump is questioning Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp why he will not use emergency powers to overrule Secretary of State and do a match of signatures on the envelope. He said it would be a gold mine of fraud. The Republicans are angry over the party's governor handling things the way he's been handling regarding this election here in Georgia. This is ridiculous. This is scary stuff, people, because what they're doing is they're accepting a lie. They refuse to investigate. I mean, come on. If this is a court of law and there was a crime being committed, you think they would actually be able to ignore evidence that's being brought before them? I'm hoping and praying they take this thing to the Supreme Court, so the Supreme Court, who holds up and stands up on the Constitution, will hold and stand and move things forward. Things are not going to stop right now, and I believe that there may be a reversal even on these results that are coming out even now. President Trump also called on officials to check the numbers of envelopes versus the ballots, suggesting they won't match up. And he's probably right. They won't match up like a lot of the voters in Michigan. This absentee ballot, how do you get more ballots than you have people? How many get more ballots do you have registered voters? What kind of sense does that make? You mailing out ballots and you get more ballots and the people are not even on the register. I thought we had to register to vote, and I thought we had to have IDs in order to be able to vote. The Secretary of State is claiming it was some third-party register. It's like, hey, oh no, it wasn't me. It was this guy over here. Yeah, you get that a lot. You get the, oh well, maybe somebody else is doing it. Maybe it's not me. Man. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you in a moment here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Now, I've been around quite a while in my life, and never did I think that we would come to this point, even though I know as a pastor, I know in Scripture it talks about the fact that they will be calling the truth a lie and calling a lie the truth. We see even now as President Trump states facts that have been bought out, Twitter is putting their little fact check statements up saying that there is no fraud and the U.S. elections are perfect. There's never any problem. Give me a break. It's already been proven several times, even by the Democrats investigating these elections too, that there's been fraud. And the machines, the computers, what did I tell you before? They have been hacked. And if you got computers where anybody can get in and hack it, they have flash drives that they're using to hack stuff. You can hack stuff from your home. They can send it to Hillary Clinton, and she can hack it from her house. So what kind of fantasy is this Dominion system is smart, whatever the heck you want to call it? That's why Texas avoided that garbage. And Donald Trump won big here in Texas because of that very fact. Because that Dominion system wasn't here to sully the vote. If the fake news media were confident in their position, now we see some things that are happening even now. They're trying to silence One America News. They're silencing on YouTube. They're silencing them on Twitter. They're doing all these things to stop them from bringing point across their point of view. It's because people don't get scared of a lie. They only get scared when the truth is told and they're telling the lies. So you have the mainstream media who line up the yin-yang, and then you get One American News that's coming out telling the truth, and Newsmax, and then all of a sudden they're getting blocked on every end because they're telling the truth, and they're being called lies when they're telling the truth. Evidence is evidence, Democrat Party and media. Evidence is evidence. If you change evidentiary rules, then how can you prove anything? How can you prosecute any criminal if you are destroying evidentiary rules? How can you get away with eliminating affidavits? If you have a weapon, there's an affidavit made up of a weapon. This is a weapon that was used in a crime. You draw up an affidavit for that. So what are we saying that, well, maybe that's not the gun. Even though ballistics match, who's to say that's the gun? It's only an affidavit. Well, an affidavit is a statement or evidence brought under a penalty of perjury. What are we doing? This is our justice system. And the justice, I'm hoping and praying it goes to the Supreme Court so that they can do and provide justice for this country. Our election process here in this country, through this computer stuff and all this other garbage, has run amok. So why are the media trying to silence the opposition? This is what's very frustrating to me. Now, I've been around for years, many years, through many presidencies. We argue, fuss and fight back and forth, even as Democrats and Republicans. But never have I seen the cancel culture, as they call it, and this silence saying people can't even have their point of view. Shut up. If you're not saying what we're saying, we don't want to hear it. That's not the way government works. We have to come across the aisle. We have to work things out. And I like to see, I'm glad that there's people that are doing that right now. They're trying to get back and get off this radical kick, because if we don't get rid of this radical element in our government, they're going to destroy their own party, the Democrat Party, because that is where the radicals are coming from. Get rid of them, Democrats. These people like AOC and Cortez and all the Cortez, whatever her name is, they need to get those people out of there. These are kids who don't know which way to go. They don't even know how to use the bathroom properly. So I'm just saying, how are they even up here in the government? Just because they look a certain way, they're young or whatever, you get these young people voting these people in, not knowing that they're coming in and destroying our country. And the reason I said the media is trying to block it is because it's the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. Y'all remember the thing that Jack Nicholson said in that movie? You can't handle the truth. The media can't handle the truth. That's why they're always trying to shift things to their own direction. What happened to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's corruption? Where's that at? That needs to be brought out in the media. Why are we avoiding that? What happened to the investigation into that? What happened to the hearings on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's corruption? The quid pro quo. Why are we not trying to impeach the supposed president-elect? If he get in there, I urge the Republican Party to seek to impeach him for doing a quid pro quo, since they tried to do it to President Trump. If they ever going to do it, then he gets in office, take him up for an impeachment. He needs to be impeached because he has already broken the rules. Yet we're ignoring that. How sad. Well, the San Jose mayor and the police chief called for change in the sanctuary policy in California. And this is because a gentleman, a legal alien, came into a church, stabbed 5 people. 2 of those people passed away. They were in a church service, serving God in their church. And they were stabbed. And we're allowing sanctuary city. This gentleman had been sent and deported several times for criminal activity, even assault with a deadly weapon. He had already been arrested and sent back across the border. He was supposed to, but since he came back over again and he came to San Jose, which is a sanctuary city, he was able to come back in, kill 2 other people, and injure 2 other ones. While speaking to the press at a press conference was last week, Mayor Liccardo and Police Chief Eddie Garcia appealed to the officials to reconsider the county's sanctuary city policy while condemning the actions of 32-year-old Fernando Jesus Lopez Garcia. He walked into a Grace Baptist church and stabbed 5 innocent people. He was arrested quickly, but 2 people passed away. Why are we allowing these things to go on in our country? Why are we allowing these illegals to inhabit our cities, especially those who are already guilty of violent crimes? People, all I can say to my Christian brothers and sisters, you need to pray, because if this country gets into this hands of this Democrat Party, look out. We already seen Antifa and BLM and all this garbage they've done. But I'm telling you right now, and I probably got a lot of people that agree with me, that we're going to fight. You come try to do something, you better look for a fight. We're going to stand up for what this country was built on. This country was built on freedom. This country was built on our rights under the Constitution. And you got people that are trying to take away our rights. Take away our rights to live. Take away our rights to be free. Take away our rights to make choices. Well, I'm going to tell you, government, those of you who want us to be locked down, the parties were going on Thanksgiving as they always were. We can't see our family because you say we can't see our family. Such foolishness. We as the American people need to live our lives. The government has no business sticking their nose into our personal business or our private lives. They don't have any business. Else, what are we, a communist country? They destroyed our small businesses. A lot of them went under the table. This is Marxist behavior, people. They want a government that's going to just give people things without any work. And the work is always right. How would you like to go into a job? You have a company, you have somebody to come in your company, they work for your company. They come in and they work for you, and you end up being arrested or charged because you told them to do something, they wouldn't do it, and because if this is Marxism, because they wouldn't do it, then you get in trouble. And they do whatever they want, and they're laughing, walking on down the road, and your company's in trouble, you end up losing your business. They destroyed so many businesses during this last pandemic and the close down and shutdowns. I don't think this country should ever do that again. And the states that have done it, they're trying to prevent from having a government. This is why they want Donald Trump out there, because they don't want him saying, no, we're not going to do it anymore. You go ahead and live your lives. I don't care what the states say. You're free to live your lives. They cannot violate your constitutional First Amendment rights and your Second Amendment rights. This is not control of the press. There's freedom of the press, people, also, to the media. And also, this is a government for the people and by the people. It should be. The reason why I like President Donald J. Trump so much is because he was a people. The Democrats are politicians, and they try their best to violate your civil and constitutional rights. They're closing down our churches in California, saying we can't worship God. Well, I'm sorry. Our God is still in control, people. Don't worry about it. He's in control. They keep it up, he's going to show them who's in control. And I believe it's going to happen anyway. He's going to show them who's in control. Maybe natural disasters, maybe anything else. But God can remove those who are in power. He sets up kings, and he takes down kings. He sets up leaders, he can take them down. I remember Mr. Chavez, they were playing so much about America. Where's Chavez now? Where's former president of Venezuela? Where is he? He's gone. God holds your life. He holds your life in his hands. He's in control of Joe Biden and anybody else who wants to do illegal activity in this country. Remember that. Do whatever you want, but God is in control. If it's not his will, he will change it, regardless of what you think or how weird you might think it is. Well, that's all I have to say. I want to thank you for joining us here on the Black Conservative Voice. My name is David Colbert, and I hope you could join me next time as we talk about the events that are going on in this country and around the world. Also, I want to do as I always do. I want to say to you, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Until next time, this is David Colbert on the Black Conservative Voice saying good night and God bless.